Hey guys, I'm Exile. Today I'm going to be showing you how to farm for this beautiful Gandora mat. If you have one Gandora, keep on watching from here. If you have 2 or 3 Gandoras, you can skip to the time in the video that is appearing on the screen now. Alright, so if you got only one Gandora, this is the deck we're going to be using. We got Triple Blockman. This is the main card that we're going to be using to tribute summon Gandora, using its tokens and abusing it. We're going to be using Monster Reincarnation and Wingbeat of Giant Dragon to recycle that Gandora. If you have triple Reincarnation, I'd run those over the Wingbeats, just because you can't always activate Wingbeat if there are no spells and traps on the field, so it's a little less situational. I only have one Reincarnation, that's why this is what my deck looks like. Besides that, we're going to be running Jar of Avarices to not only recycle Gandora, but also these cards back into the deck, so we can get multiple summons and to make sure we don't deck out. Along with that, we have trap monsters to save our life points and some draw power. Alright, now I'm just going to jump into a replay and show you guys how this works. On the left hand side of the screen, you can see I've written up a guide, and if you want to build this deck and just jump into a game, you can read along with this guide. And yeah, I'll show you guys how this works. There are just some key things that I want you guys to remember. One thing is this only works against level 10 Taya or Rex. That is because they have monsters that have 1,000 or less attack. Other legendary duelists have monsters that have 1,100, and 1,000 is kind of the magic number for us because Lockman only has 1,000 attack, and same with Machine King, only 1,000 attack and defense. So it can give us trouble if you use other legendary duelists. And alright, we'll just jump into this replay and I'll just tell you guys my thought process. So first things first, this is a pretty bad hand. We got 2 Jar of Avarices early, but it's okay. We got defense on the board already, 1,000 defense. He can't get over this. We play our Shard of Greed, try to get some draw power out. And our boy just says 900 attack monsters. This is really good for us. We just drew our Gandora. Hopefully we're gonna get something out of the Shard. And let's see. So this is actually really good for us because since all monsters on his side of the field have less than 1,000 attack, we can feel free to summon Blockman in attack mode. Otherwise, usually we set it in face down defense position. Alright, and now we have the power to summon Gandora here, but we're gonna hold off on it because we want to take advantage of Blockman's tokens. Oh yeah, yeah, of course. We get 2, we just added the counter to it, so yeah, feel free to summon on that turn. We activate Wingbeat, bring Gandora back into the hand. That's really good for us. Play Shard of Greed, and just wait it out, We're gonna go ahead and set that card, summon our Blockman in attack mode, and we can activate Machine King. One thing you want to remember about Machine King is that you can't normal summon the same turn you activate its effect, or sorry, activate the trap card. So you want to always make sure you do it on your opponent's turn. We're going to go ahead and tribute that trap monster, summon Gandora, that's our second summon, and send it back to our hand with Wingbeat. Now on our third turn, we have Blockman's counters on 3, go ahead and activate the effect, tribute summon Gandora for a third time. So I just want to make it clear to everyone, we got really lucky early on with the cards we drew. You usually won't be expecting this many summons this early in the game. So we have 3 right now. We're going to go ahead and activate Monster Reincarnation. So we got all of our recycle cards really early. So that's kind of what makes this farm work out really well. We're going to play Blockman and go ahead and summon Gandora. Let the counters count out. We aren't actually using our scale baggy sleeves right now because when you only have one Gandora, drawing isn't all that important right now because we had all those cards to recycle Gandora. So that's why we didn't use the effect. Otherwise, we would suicide it into one of his 900 attack monsters, take some damage, and get 2 draws. Alright, now we just activate Blockman again, set our embodiment, and just wait it out a little longer. Shard of Greed, see if we can get Gandora. Yep, there we go. Go ahead and normal summon it. Alright, so we got a lot of summons already. We're gonna set this Jar of Avarice this turn. One thing you want to remember about Jar is that if you don't have any cards left in your deck, you can't activate it. So worst case scenario, you want to wait until you have 1 card left, because if you have 0, if you draw that card, it won't let you activate it. It's just how the card rulings work. There we go. We're gonna summon Gandora again, and then activate Jar of Avarice during his end phase. If it became our draw phase, like I said, we wouldn't be able to activate it. And go ahead and the targets, you want to always target Gandora when you can, monster reincarnations, and Wingbeat of Giant Dragons, and then after that any trap monsters. That's how the hierarchy works in this deck at least. Gonna go ahead and summon the Blockman in attack mode, activate its effect. We see that Rex has only 2 cards left, so we want to be able to summon whatever we can as soon as possible. Go ahead and activate Machine King, save our life points, and let's see if we can get another summon in. With Monster Reincarnation, we discard Crystal Seer, send Gandora back to our hand, and looks like we'll be getting one last summon. There we go, activate Embodiment, summon Gandora, and I believe that's the 8th summon with only 1 Gandora. Now, like I said earlier, this is we got pretty lucky getting our recycling cards really early. You should only expect to summon Gandora 5 to 6 times, 7 if you're lucky, and we got 8 this turn. This game, because we got the recycling cards really early, but you shouldn't expect that to happen. So 5 to 6 is a magic number with this deck, and I hope you guys have good luck with this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, so if you got 2 Gandoras, this is the deck we're going to be using. Key cards in this deck besides Gandora, or Blockman. This is the card we're going to be using to tribute summon Gandora. Take advantage of its tokens and tribute it when it has 3 counters on it. Besides that, we're going to be using Monster Reincarnation and Wingbeat of Giant Dragon. Ideally, you'd run 2 reincarnations if you have them. Otherwise, if you're like me and have only 1, go ahead and just throw in a Wingbeat. Besides that, there's Jar of Avarice to help us from ducking out, and to recycle Gandora and these cards back into the deck. And on top of that, we just have trap monsters and draw power to help us get through the farm. Baggy Sleeves is a skill I'm running. It's not necessary at all, but it helps the farm go by a little faster. Basically, it just lets you draw 2 cards if you have Gandora destroyed by battle. Alright, so as you guys can see on the left hand side of the screen, I've put together a guide for you, and I'm just going to jump into a couple of replays and show you how this deck performs. If you want to, you can just start putting this deck together right now. Read along with the guide on the left hand side, and I'm just going to point out a couple key things while this replay runs through. Some things you guys want to remember. First and foremost, this only works against level 10 Taya and level 10 Rex. So other legendary duels give us trouble because they have monsters that have higher than 1000 attack, and that can get in our way of Blockman and Machine King BC. So just use level 10 Taya or level 10 Rex. Alright, I'm just gonna walk you guys through the thought process of this replay. So always set Blockman, because if she had a monster that had 1000 attack, they consider Blockman to be a threat, so they'll always suicide into it. There we go, we got 2 counters going. We're going to activate Shard of Greed and just wait until this has 3 counters on it, take advantage of it at its full potential. There we go, now we got 3. We're going to go ahead and summon Gandora. And the nice thing about 3 tokens is when Gandora dies, we still have something to defend our life points with. Here comes our trap monster to summon our second Gandora. We're going to go ahead and suicide it. This is going to proc Baggy Sleeves in our next draw phase. Activate Machine King for defense. There we go, there's a Baggy Sleeves. One thing you want to remember about Baggy Sleeves is that it can and it will dick you out. So if you have only 2 cards, if you have less than 2 cards in your deck, you don't want to suicide Gandora. Alright, there goes our Monster Reincarnation pretty early in the game to send Gandora back into our hand. We got kind of unlucky with 3 Jar of Avarices this early, but it's alright. We're gonna go ahead and activate Machine King BC. See what we get from Shard of Greed and summon Gandora. There we go. We got some defense. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and activate Wingbeat. Another thing you want to remember about Wingbeat is that if there are no spells and trap cards on the field, it won't let you activate it. So sometimes you have to throw away a trap monster or Jar of Avarice, but you can always change Jar of Avarice to it, so that's not too big of a deal. There we go, we're going to activate Machine King BC for some defense. Set our Blockman. She can't get over it. We don't care if she loses life points, that's alright. We're not actually going to activate Jar of Greed here. We can't if we wanted to, because we have too few cards left in the deck. Summon Gandora through that. Machine King BC, and during her end phase, we activate Jar of Avarice. If we had 0 cards left in the deck, the card rulings say that we cannot activate Jar of Avarice, so one thing you want to keep in mind is, worst case scenario, you want to activate it during your opponent's end phase when you have 1 card left in your deck. And the cards I'm targeting here are always Gandora, and either Monster Reincarnation or Wingbeat of Giant Dragon, and besides that, Trap Monsters. I didn't target Wingbeat there, I think that was a misplay. You should always target the cards that you can use to recycle Gandora. There we go. Set some of our face downs, activate Machine King during our opponent's turn. There we go, normal summon Gandora. Let it blow up. We're not going to activate Baggy Sleeves there, otherwise we'd lose. There we go, send Gandora back into the deck. A couple monsters, there's our Wingbeat. Alternatively, we could have also just used Monster Reincarnation there, seeing as how, oh, actually we couldn't. I just went over this, otherwise we would have run out of cards in the deck. So yes, that was the right play. And we wouldn't be able to activate Jar of Avarice. Now Taya only has 1 card left in her deck, so we want to get out our summons as fast as we can. Gonna use Wingbeat, send it back to the hand. This is her last turn. We're gonna activate Blockman, go ahead and summon Gandora. And that will be it for that farm. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough to defeat her. Only 2100 attack, but she dexed out, and that's how that farm works. If you guys have any questions, you can leave comments in the comment section below. I'll be there to answer anything you got. Otherwise, next up is 3 Gandora farm. So if you're interested, you can stick around. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Alrighty, if you guys got 3 Gandoras, this is the deck we're going to be using to farm. Key cards besides Gandora are Blockman. This is the card we're going to be using to tribute summon Gandora, taking advantage of its tokens. Then along with that, we're going to be using Jar of Avarice and Wingbeat of Giant Dragon to recycle the 3 Gandoras. Along with that, we have Draw Power and Trap Monsters to protect our life points, and also Double Summon and Cost Down. This is a really nifty combo I'm going to get to in a little bit. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump into a replay and show you guys how this works. Here we go. As you can see on the left hand side of the screen, I've written up a guide for you guys. So you can just make this deck and jump into a game right away and read along with the guide and listen to me as I walk you guys through my thought process in this replay if you'd like. One thing you guys want to remember is it only works against level 10 Taya and level 10 Rex. This is because other level 10 legendary duels have monsters that have higher than 1000 attack points, so they can give our cards trouble, specifically Blockman and Machine King. So to not have to worry about that, we're just going to farm against level 10 Taya and Rex. Alright, and this hand is alright for us. We're going to go ahead and set Blockman. Always set him, because if we summoned it in attack mode right here, for example, Rex and Taya are always willing to sacrifice their 1000 attack monsters. I guess they see Blockman as a threat, so they always want to wipe him off the board. This is looking pretty good for us. We got 2 Machine Kings out on the field. We're going to go ahead and summon Gandora right now as we wait for the counters to increase. We just suicided Gandora there to proc our Baggy Sleeves. If you guys don't know, that skill says when a level 5 or higher monster is destroyed by battle, during your next draw phase, you get to draw 2 cards. And it actually activates on its own. One thing you want to keep in mind about it actually is that it can and it will deck you out. So you never want to suicide Gandora if you have less than 1 card in your deck. Alright, so there we just activated Blockman's effect, waiting for another Gandora, and we just drew into one. We're going to suicide it again and get the Baggy Sleeves to proc on our next draw phase. There's our embodiment, a little bit more defense. Here we go, we're going to hope to get our 3rd Gandora. Nope, not yet. We're going to set our Blockman instead and wait this out. Alright, there's our Gandora. Sacrifice that. Run it into him again. Take advantage of Baggy Sleeves there. And right here, we're activated Jar of Avarice because we have 3 Gandoras in the graveyard. This is really good. You always want to activate it when you have 2 to 3 in your graveyard. Along with them, we're going to also try and target cards like Double Summon and Cost Down. We haven't played those cards yet, but if we had those in our graveyard, we'd want to send those back into the deck. And I'll tell you guys why in just a second. I'm pretty sure we get to pull off that combo in this farm. There's our block band. We're going to tribute it to summon Gandora, run it into his face to proc baggy sleeves once more. Alright, let's see what we get. 2 Gandoras. Alright, so this is where that combo comes in handy. We're going to go ahead and activate Jar of Greed, chain our embodiments, just because, why not? Alright, so we're going to activate Double Summon, activate Cost Down, go ahead and discard Block Band, tribute summon 1 Gandora, and tribute over that same Gandora to summon our second one. So that's 2 summons using that combo. It's really nice. We still have a lot of defense ready for us. We got 3 Gandoras in the graveyard, and Cost Down and Double Summon in the graveyard. So we're going to send those cards back into the deck and try to pull off that combo once more. And if you guys can't lost count of how many times we've summoned Gandora, I got a counter going up in the top right hand corner of the screen. Alright, we just drew into Block Man, gonna set it, tribute summon Gandora right there, run him into his face, draw 2 during our next draw phase, go ahead and activate Machine King for a little bit more tribute fodder. There's 2 Gandoras, and we're gonna activate Blockman, tribute summon Gandora right there. He's got only 3 cards left in his deck, so we want to be able to, we want to make sure we're watching his deck to know when we want to start wrapping up this farm. Making sure we're getting our Gandoras out when we can. Activate baggy sleeves here. Then we're going to activate Jar of Greed. Set a couple of our cards. Activate Machine King during his turn. One thing you want to remember about Machine King is that if you activate its effect, you can't normal summon or special summon during the same turn. So always activate it during your opponent's turn. And here we get that combo once more. Use Double Summon. Cost Down. Go ahead and discard a Wing Beat. Tribute summon Gandora. Tribute over that Gandora to summon another Gandora. Let it go to the graveyard. If we if we had suicided there, we would have decked out next draw phase, because like I said, baggy sleeves can, and it will deck you out. There's our last Gandora farm. Gandora summon, I'm sorry, and this is going to wrap up the farm for us. We don't have enough to kill him, but it's alright, it's all good. That's going to do it for me, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll be there to answer anything you guys got for me. If you guys are wondering any card substitutes you could use in this deck, Monster Reincarnation's always good. You can always try Dark Spirit Art Greed when you're playing against Rags. Along with that, for draw power, Crystal Seer, Shard of Greed, Jar of Greed are all really good cards, and I hope you guys can use this deck and these other decks to summon Gandora as many times as you can, and I hope you get that Gandora mat, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again for stopping by.